$203,000 in business, 100% on the phone.
I'm not comfortable because you guys taught me on the phone and I'm very uncomfortable.
A lot of times people, they have like this middle, right? But you, it's like 100% or off.
Unfortunately, I got divorced and things got messy.
Which really cool actually, right? Because, obviously COVID happened.
When I heard Dana the first time talking about it, I was like, how can you talk about this so calmly?
So there's something different about you versus the majority of people.
And you take a decision, right or wrong, you have to go with it.
Welcome to my show of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, where we hear from regular people who got tired of living their ordinary lives and were not afraid to make that jump.
You gotta be different. You can't be doing what everyone else is doing. You gotta create action. You gotta create momentum. So I'm looking for demand and I'm looking for mentorship because I wanted to know everything my mentor knew.
People who are just like you and me.
Hey everyone, Dave Price here. I'm here with Zoe Gomez. Zoe Gomez is one of our most talented telesales agent. She works primarily in the Spanish market, all 100% on the phone. If you want to hear more about my channel, subscribe. We want to continue to get talented people on here, that people that are doing big things in this industry, and we want to give you the blueprint. We want to show you how to be successful in this industry, no matter what it is that you're trying to do. I want to get the tools to you. And if there's something that you see or something that you don't see that you want to learn more about, please put it in the comments. Let me figure out how to get a video out to you, provide you some value, give you a blueprint to have that success. So I want to welcome Zoe Gomez. Welcome, Zoe.
Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate you coming on the show. So little thing about Zoe, and I got an award for her right here. So last year, Zoe issued 203,784 personal production, all 100% on the phone. Like I said, working only Spanish leads. So here you go, Zoe. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And then also as an agency owner, Zoe does also hire agents, and she does help a lot of agents learn how to sell on the phone. 358,995,000. So here's that one right there.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'll put these back down for you so you ain't got to hold them. And the one thing that I really love about Zoe and Zoe's story is that she basically does it part-time. When she'll get a little bit into it, but when she decided that she wanted to or needed to find something else to do, she needed to find something that was gonna let her be super mom, super daughter, make some money on her time when she wants to make it. So I think it's really cool that you would hit those kind of numbers and you're able to do it part-time, make a six-figure income, 100% on the phone, from your house or wherever it is that you want to work. So let's talk about how you got into this industry.
Unfortunately, I got divorced and things got messy, and I had 3 children in college, and I needed to do something because obviously it's not easy to start something. Everything requires investment, everything requires money, requires time. And unfortunately, at the same time, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Sorry.
Thank you. And I looked around, and suddenly I sat down one day with Doug, and he said, Zoe, let's give it a try in Spanish from your home. And I said, well, what do I require? And he just told me, work. I said, okay. I got my license in a week, and I started. And it is absolutely possible. Like you said, it is. I work 1 week in the office, 1 week at home, and I have to stop at certain times. And like you say, I work because I have to have a very part-time full schedule. I don't know how to say that,
yes.
But yes.
Absolutely.
And that's what I do. And it really, really works. And you just gave me the price of 2021, which I'm very proud of. But I doubled from 2020, which is even impressive.
That's awesome. I believe 2020 was your first year, correct?
Yeah, it was my first year.
Was it the full year or that was just a half?
I started in February. Just before COVID.
Almost. Okay, so your first full year in the business,
yes,
you issued over $203,000 in business, 100% on the phone, selling one product, final expense. One carrier, one lead system. So that's really cool because a lot of people think that you can't sell final expense on the phone. I actually have conversations with people all the time like, oh, I heard it's so hard to sell final expense on the phone and it's not possible. And what's really cool about your story, because I have a lot of agents that do sell on the phone. However, they start out in the field. And day one, you've never sold a policy in person, correct?
No. Actually, a fun story is I did try like 2 or 3 months ago, and last week I went, and no, I'm not comfortable because you guys taught me on the phone, and I'm very uncomfortable. But I did it. I did it also. But no, I don't know how they do it on the field. Actually, if you ask me, I have no idea. On the phone is completely possible. And like you said, I only target Spanish speakers.
So you do Spanish. So the training, the learning, right? So obviously, Doug told you, hey, you can make a lot of money part time. You can make have a lot of freedom, which always sounds good, right?
Yes.
And then you get to the point you went and got your insurance license.
Yes.
And then the training or the process started. What was that like for you?
Well, I sat down with Dana alone in the office, and I sat down with her one day listening to her in English, and she was telling me what she did, and what I did is translate everything she was doing exactly to Spanish. And it works. I followed her lead in every single thing she said, and impressive.
So you're a Spanish clone of Dana.
Yes, I am a Spanish clone of Dana. She was the one that trained me, and she was the one that taught me everything. Because for a long time we were alone in the office,
I remember.
her and me, and she did a great job with me. I think she did.
Yeah. So what's really cool, actually, right? Because obviously COVID happened,
Right.
And a lot of people said, okay, cool, we need to start using the phones now, or it's a new virtual world, right? But you've been selling on the phone before COVID.
Yes, I started before COVID, and my second day, the first day I dialed, I was able to sell it. So yes, it is absolutely possible. And I've never sold insurance before. I never had this experience ever.
Do you have any kind of sales experience?
I used to sell, yes. I used to work in companies that I used to sell, but not insurance whatsoever. Not any type of this concepts whatsoever. Final expenses, less. When I heard Dana the first time talking about it, I was like, how can you talk about this so calmly? And now I can do it, and I can do it very, very calmly.
Yeah, I mean, you're like I said, you're obviously very good at what you do. You obviously have an amazing work ethic, right? Work ethic is what's gonna allow you to be successful. I talk about work ethic a lot, and a lot of people that I have on here, like they all have work ethic. Like you can't skip that part.
No, you can't.
Right. What's really cool is, I know when you do go in the office, you go in the office one day a week. One week on, 1 week off. Mm-hmm. And, I know as soon as it's 9 o'clock, like you have someone picking up the phone at 9 o'clock as opposed to, talking around, doing office politics and stuff like that. Where did that work ethic come from?
I think it comes from years that definitely you have to, part of the success of anybody has to be with the consistency and the constant that right. You have into the job. So that's what I do. And since I do need some free time because of my mom, I really have to get into it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. If I talk a little bit and then come back to work, it's not going to work. I really have to be constant with it. Otherwise, nothing happens. And you know that. You want something, you have to be on top of it.
Yeah, you're very intentional, just like we're talking about, like you don't, a lot of times people, they have like this middle, right? But it's like 100% or off. Like when you're working,
what I try to do, exactly.
You're working,
and when
it's time to take care of mom, it's time to take care of mom.
That's why I need to be off, right?
Yeah, and you just do an amazing job with it, and it's definitely been great. It's always good to see somebody come in, but more importantly, it's good to see someone coachable. Right, you said you listen to somebody for one day, and the next day you're dialing the phone.
No, and we have all these examples. You are one of them. Doug is another one of them. We want to be you. We want to, to get to the success you guys have built and have managed. And you did it in a year. Doug keeps on saying it. You did it amazingly, and you've done it more than anybody else. So it's great to have these type of people to follow and to listen to, and we have them right there.
I appreciate that. What is it that motivates you? Because you have to realize, like 92% of insurance agents typically don't make it, right? Sure. So you're part of the 8%. So I don't know if you know it, but you're special, Zoe.
Thank you.
You are special.
I didn't know that, but thank you.
Right? You're special. So there's something different about you versus the majority of people. And obviously I think there's something that drives you, right? Do you know what that is?
I think that I don't like to fail.
Okay.
I think that when I take a decision,
I see that.
yes, when you take I think that has I don't know. I think that has to drive you in life. When you take a decision, right or wrong, you have to go with it. So if I took the decision to commit to this and I told you guys I was gonna do it, I'm doing it. So that's what I think that drives me. It's not that, and it takes time for me to decide. But once I decide, that's it. So this is what I think I do.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yes.
I could. If you say you're gonna do something, that's it.
Exactly.
I don't have to second guess you
No,
or say, "Are you
no,
sure?"
yes,
or
no,
remind
no,
you.
no. If
It's
I
like, as
say-
soon as you say yes, like, all right,
Yes.
good. Here we go.
Yes.
We're in business. We got this.
Right. When I say yes, yes. If I don't say yes, you know it's not gonna happen.
Right.
But
Then
if
I'm gonna
I
have to
say-
ask you a couple times.
Yes.
So, but usually.
But I think
yeah.
it's that, and I think that's the only way I found in life. I'm not as young as you are, but that you have to go through life. You have to definitely, if you're gonna do something, do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, why not? Either that or you're just wasting your time if you're gonna have to do something, right? So, what do you see the future? Do you have goals in this industry? Do you continue want to kind of protect your time and do what you're doing, or what do you see? Where do you see yourself at in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? What are some kind of goals that you want to accomplish?
I do have goals, but I cannot control life.
Right.
I mean, my mom. I don't know how bad she can get. Unfortunately, that I cannot control. If I didn't have that I cannot manage, then I would have my goals very clear. But every day it's like, I'm
Mom's
trying to
priority
see.
right now. That makes
I
sense.
need to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely look up to you for that, right? And again, like, you made it so you can do that.
Correct.
Right? Where a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, I can't work, I can't do anything, I gotta take care of my mom, and all their lives are falling apart now. You're like, nah, hold my water.
Yeah.
I got this. I'm gonna make us 6 figures. I'm gonna take care of mom. I'm gonna put my kids through college. Anything else you guys need while I'm at it?
No, thank you. I don't want them to ask for anymore. Enough. Mom is tired. But no, yes. And like I told you, I have a wedding in 15 days of my oldest daughter. So yes, I'm trying
In Cancun, Mexico. How was it winning a free all
Oh, that
expenses
was
paid
amazing.
trip?
That was amazing to spend 4 days, and relax. And the only place that I think that you really relax is the beach.
Right.
So to be in Cancun for 4 days, that is relaxing. It was an amazing trip. I really
Have you ever
appreciate
won a trip or anything like that before that?
No.
So it was
First
definitely
time.
like,
My
like
first
really?
time,
We're paying
yes.
for all this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was incredible. It
Yeah, I
was.
remember my first trip was the music festival in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And I'm not a big country fan or anything like that. And I was, I don't know how much fun it was amazing. It was definitely amazing. But again, just the way you get treated. And
Correct.
Not paying for a trip is always fun, right?
It's absolutely
So-
nice. Yes, and to really disconnect because again, you're with all your people from the job, and you get to disconnect and at least spend those 4 days with all of them, and you get to interact with all of you guys. So it's great.
Yeah, I love how they leave you alone.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay,
No,
cool,
no,
we're gonna
no.
have you training here,
No.
you're gonna have to be here at this time. They actually let you enjoy yourself.
No,
I'm
and,
sure they
and you
appreciate
can share with them, and you can see them in another sense. Not only like your boss, but you're sharing in a pool. You're having a drink. You're having dinner. It's very nice.
Yeah, that's
very
definitely nice. So there's gonna be a lot of new agents, obviously, watching this show, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. There's a ton of people that want to work on the phone, right? And they don't know if it's possible, or the people they're talking to don't have success working on the phone. So they're being told, like, you can't do this, you can't work on the phone. Obviously you're a great example of not just working on the phone, but like I said, handling all these other aspects of your life. What is some advice you would give to a new agent that is thinking about working on the phone?
I think that the best advice is consistency, and that if you're gonna do something, do it right. You cannot work at home making a call, standing up, going and talking to somebody else. Let me do something else, and then come. No, it went like you described me, which makes me laugh. You sit, you dedicate 5-8 hours a day to do it, and then you're gonna get it done. I don't have the energy to stay until 10 o'clock in the night, even though sometimes I do it, but if you're young, you can do it. You can definitely do it. And believe me, it's very rewarding. It's amazing to see the account just by itself filling up.
Have you ever been in a position where you just get paid daily? Like you
No,
are
this
now?
is the first time like we do now. Ever, not at 15 and 30, of every
Yeah,
month? Yes.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
first
definitely.
time. It's like you wake up in the morning and you say, wow, that's there.
Right, you get to wake up richer than you were the night when you went
Yes,
to sleep.
yes.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. And what you guys say constantly, the commission that you guys, I don't know about anything about the rest of the industry. I just know about senior life. But it is the opportunity, what you're able to calculate per hour, that I hear a lot of us saying that it is true. It is absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really had success from day one, which is really cool, right? I mean, did you have a point where you felt like, wait, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, or maybe this isn't what I thought it was?
Well, it is hard work. There's some days that you can feel very down, because obviously there's some days that don't go your way, because that's how it has to be. It is a lot of hard work. It is a lot. Since I work the Spanish market, you really have to follow up with them a lot in order to get a yes. It's not, normally don't get a yes on the first one. No, we're a little harder than Americans. But once you understand that you just have to continue doing it, you would get the results. But yes, some weeks I've been down because you say, oh my God, what's going on? But it comes around, and then it turns around, and the next week it's wonderful, and that's how it goes.
I understand.
And since I hadn't lived it before, obviously, yes, you feel down at times. You say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But I don't know how, but it gets done, of course, if you work.
It's funny because, a lot of our agents, including yourself, it's not unusual to make a sale every single day, right? It's very, it's more unusual for you to go a whole week without making a sale.
No, yeah.
But then you look at like other sales, like a real estate agent. Right, like think about like a real estate agent. Like they drive people around all day, every day, and like a good real estate agent will have one sale a month.
Right.
Right. So then when our agents, we get so spoiled, right, and we're like, oh my God, I didn't make a sale today.
Right.
Right.
And you get mad because of one day. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think our perception of the business is so different. I mean, I've hired people in other companies from other insurance carriers or opportunities. And, I say, how many, sales did you make last month? Or, and like, oh, I made 6. My goal was 7. Like 7 sales in a month. Like, like how does, so I think, the volume that we do is so unusual, to a lot of the other industry. And, the agents, they just, like I know some agents, they're not happy if they don't make a couple sales a day, right?
True.
So it's definitely fun. The volume that we're able to pick up.
It is true. It is absolutely true. And believe me, when I used to listen to you guys without knowing anything from the industry, I was like, is this for real? Can this be possible? I'm talking to you about the first meeting I went, the first month, the second month. I said, it is possible. It is absolutely true, everything that you guys say.
You definitely proved that. What is your favorite part? I mean, obviously, you've been in different job positions, you've been part of a business owner, right?
Yes.
Before. So you have a lot of different experience doing a lot of different things. What's your favorite part about this business in particular, if you had to like really pinpoint one thing?
In my case, I connect to my people, to my Latino people, and you're able to really help them because sometimes they're really alone in this country in the sense, or they feel alone. I don't want to say one thing or the other. But you connect to them and you really can help them. And once they feel that from you, they're with you for life. So, that part of helping people and connecting with people, I like a lot. And I like to talk. So that's part of it. So, yes, I feel that that's one of the most rewarding things.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really good you brought that up. A lot of times we're talking about the sales and we talk about the production, right? But then what we don't really talk about a lot, like I don't have your exact numbers, but I know you issued hundreds of policies last year, right? So that's hundreds of insurance policies that are designated to protect an individual family, right? And when you look at that and like the scale of helping, I always tell people that your income is direct result of your ability to help people. Right? You were able to make the income you made last year because of the amount of people you helped. Right? You made more money as an agency because as an agency, you're able to help even more people on a grander scale.
Of course.
So it's pretty amazing when you really think about, how many people you're helping and you're touching, So I think that's really cool.
That's nice and rewarding. It is.
That's awesome. So if there's any kind of advice, for somebody that wants to go from, the field to the phone, or they just want to have the freedom that you have, right? The ability to again work on the phone from their house, or be able to take care of, there's a lot of, single mothers, right? There's a lot of people that do have to help family. What would be the best advice that you could give somebody that's, watching you right now, that loves your story and really, wants to be able to do exactly what you're doing?
The time that you think you have to dedicate to this, really dedicate to it. That's my only advice. Just commit to it constantly. If it's 4 hours a day, like you said, that I'm sort of part-time, if it's 4 hours a day, it's 4 hours a day. You will see the results.
So do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
Right.
That's it. And listen to you guys.
If I could get every single person to do only exactly what they say they're going to do.
That's it. That's it for the time they say. It's 4 hours. Okay, put it 4 hours every single day. And you'll see the results. It's true. It's absolutely true. Awesome. And like you say, I approve of it.
No, yeah, you definitely do that. So do you think at some point you'll have a whole team of Zoes?
So. I want to. I really want to. I hope so. But like I told you, there's things I cannot control. But I really hope so.
So that is in the future.
Yes.
At some time. Hey, we got plenty
big
of time.
Standards. I have Dave and I have Doug. So
there we go. We're gonna have the Spanish Dave and Doug.
Exactly. Hopefully.
Awesome.
And a woman.
Spanish woman, Dave and Doug. Awesome. That's it. So. Well, I really appreciate everything. I appreciate taking some time out of your day, because I know that you get paid very well hourly. So you coming down here and talking to us, definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate working with you. I mean, it's definitely been a blessing, and it's so good to see somebody that just comes in and says, "All right, show me what I got to do. All right, I'm gonna do it." As opposed to yeah, and then all of a sudden they have every excuse in the world not to get started, or let me just watch you for 3 more days, or make one more call, and just scared to pick up that phone, and you just jumped right in. So it's definitely been great to watch. I definitely know there's going to be a giant team, underneath you, of you helping a lot of people, because, you talk about helping people, and, helping them with their funeral services is one thing, but then when you are able to help other people create 6-figure incomes working from home, I mean, that's life changing. So I definitely can't wait to see that. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. If you really liked what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions for Zoe, put them in the comments. We'll get you the answers. If there's something else that you want to see, please, again, put that in the comments, and we're going to make as many videos as we can. I want to give you the blueprint to be successful. I want everything I know, I want you to know, so you can do exactly what I've done, do what some of our team members have done, and really take things to the next level. Thank you.